you and I were talking offline, and I kind of commented to you that it's one thing to talk about women's health, especially when it comes to things like hormones and when it comes to things like pregnancies. It's another to actually put your money where your mouth is and go through it the way that you did. And I love, 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 love the way that you guys documented your story, all the ups and downs. You were very frank with it. It was, I believe, once a trimester, you were popping into the Keto Savage podcast. I would always get so excited every 3 months when I saw that that episode was coming up. It was fantastic. And so I really want to pick your brain on some of that stuff today. But before we do, let's talk about your story through health and how you ended up finding, this whole entire world of low carbohydrate and ketogenic diets. You have a story of really like healing disease. Can you tell us a little bit about what you had going on?
Yeah. So, years ago, I've been keto for 7 years now. I was dealing with a lot of gastric issues, and I had seen so many doctors. It was kind of ridiculous at a certain point, and I was really at the point of wanting to give up when I got diagnosed with gastroparesis and slow transit colon. That was not fun. So with that, they had me on a pure liquid diet. At that point, we have tried everything. We'd had high fiber, we had, all different kinds of things. And at this point, like the only thing that was working for me was just drinking liquid. So lots of like protein shakes with fruit and things like that. And Robert actually was doing keto for bodybuilding, and he was like, "Hey, you should really try this thing that I'm doing." And at that point, like keto had not taken off. So I had no idea what he was talking about. Like it sounded crazy, just off the wall. You're wacko. So I said, well, I guess I'll give it a shot. And so I did. I tried it for, I think it was like a month or something. And I was like, this is miserable. I don't want to do it. I can't have my cookies and my this and that, even though I was supposed to be on a liquid diet, you sneak in this and that. And then I actually went back to what I was doing prior, and I got worse. And I thought, okay, I didn't feel well, but maybe I felt better than I do now. So I tried keto again. And that time we really modified things. That we kept in a lot of liquid. And I started keto with actually doing shakes and like putting avocado and cream cheese and things like that in there. And then slowly over time, I started to feel better and better and better. And it really did take me months to feel better and better and better. And then finally, I think it was 2 years into it, I had another scope done I had both a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, and the erosion and the discoloration and everything that was going on in there before was gone. They were like, it looks beautiful in there. I'm like, I feel great, and the gastroparesis and the slow transit, that probably will never really forever go away. Every once in a while I have a small flare up, but it is nothing compared to what I had before. And I really just keep it at bay with diet and exercise and things like that. And it's truly why I stay keto. A lot of people are like, man, I don't know how you can stick to that. Don't you think that that's too restrictive? Blah, blah. I'm like, no, because I feel like I got my life back. When you're that sick and your gut is messed up, you also get really depressed, and you get to a point where you're just like, I don't want to get out of bed. I feel worse once I get out. I'm just a shell of a person. And so yeah, it pretty much, like, I hate to say, like, it gave me my life back and to be so cheesy, but it really did. Like, it changed my outlook, and it helped me to feel like there was something at the end of the tunnel, and feeling better and better every single month. It just made it worthwhile to continue going.
Yeah, that's amazing. It may seem restrictive, but all that other stuff what you were dealing with was absolutely restrictive. I
Yes.
don't think it's a huge sacrifice to continue eating this way and know that you might have to do so for the rest of your life to not have to deal with digestive issues. I never really had much in the way of digestive issues, but everything that I've heard with people that do say it's absolutely awful.
Yeah, it is absolutely awful, because there's nothing you can do about it. It's just in your stomach. You can't like just let it do its thing. Like, you have to eat. So it was like I ate and I felt terrible, and I didn't eat and I felt terrible. So it was like, you have to eat, but how do you eat the right thing, and how much do I eat, and this, that, and the other. But now that I know exactly like what foods really upset my stomach, or what foods to eat more regularly, things like that, like it's really not an issue. Maybe if I eat out or something like that, I might have a little bit of something. But for the most part, I've got it down to where it's like, I have no issues at all. And I eat a ton now. Back then I was hardly able to eat anything just because it hurt so much. And now I'm all about the fuel.
Nice. That's amazing. How was that impacting your relationship? Because you mentioned Robert, you guys are just starting to date for the very first time, weren't you?
Yep. So Robert was really big into starting up the businesses and things like that. And I was really sick all the time. And it was kind of interesting. I actually think back and I'm like, why would he want to be with me? Like, I feel like I was a miserable person. I must have had something good about me at that point. But I really do think it got better. I also ended up getting off of hormonal birth control also. And find that also can mess up your gut as well, but it can also mess up some of the hormone fluctuations that you have, your mood, a whole bunch of different things. So I think between, getting off the hormonal birth control, fixing my diet, things like that, it made me a happier person. It made me a more confident person, which in turn helped me to be a better person to be with. I think Robert enjoyed me a little bit more when I was happier.
Well, when I interviewed him, he said that you were the first like legit like girlfriend he'd ever had. And
Yeah.
so yeah, he didn't even have anything to compare it to. So there you go.
He's like, oh, this is what it's like. Great.
That's amazing. And when we talk to him and hear all the struggles and challenges he's had to overcome, we know that you have had to go through so much and overcome there. It really does just make you stronger on the other side. And it's really cool that you're now kind of sharing that message. I do want to go back to something you said, fiber. I'm sure they were trying to shove fiber down your throat. Was that helping at all? Was it hurting it or making it worse?
So one doctor that I had was adamant that I take fiber. He's like, just pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. And then the next person that I went to, that's who I found the diagnosis with. And they were like, stop taking any fiber, like just remove it from your diet because it's just blocking you. It's causing more buildup in your intestines and you already aren't emptying as you should. So at that point, I really just cut all of it out. I did keep some vegetables and things in there, but for the most part, now I don't have any fiber really. Every once in a while I'll have some vegetables or there's a little bit in the keto bricks and things like that. But the fiber is just a killer. It just added so much bulk and just kind of filled up my stomach and intestines and wasn't really giving me any nutrients that I needed.